Personal protective equipment. PPE, what is it? Well, it's things we can wear to protect ourselves when we fly. Things like flight helmets, fire-resistant clothing, gloves, boots, hearing protection, and eye protection. Well, what's required when we fly special use? You got to have the helmet, fire-resistant clothing, gloves, and the boots. Let's talk about fire-resistant clothing. You've got a choice here. You can either go with the full one-piece Nomex flight suit like this, or if you prefer, the Nomex fire shirt and fire pants. They both are equally as effective. It's your choice. Now, what you wear underneath is really important. Something like this 100% cotton t-shirt works great. Provides an extra layer of protection, and it doesn't burn or melt like a synthetic fabric does. So always stick with natural fibers underneath your flight suit or fire clothes. If you're going to wear the protective clothing, you need to know how to wear it right. What's right? Well, let's start with the sleeves. Sleeves should be down over your flight gloves and securely fastened. Next thing you want to make sure is that your flight suit or your fire shirt is zipped or buttoned clear to the top, and that your collar's turned up. The name of the game here is protection. You're trying to protect yourself against the possibility of a post-crash flash fire. So you protect yourself as much as you can. Also, if you've got zippers in your pants legs, zip them down to where they're snug at the bottom. What about gloves? What I've got on here is probably about the best you can do, and that's the Nomex and leather combination flight glove. 100% leather works very well too, offers good protection. What you do want to avoid is a synthetic based glove, something that in a post-crash fire may burn and melt. Even 100% wool is not going to offer the protection you need. Also, if you're going to wear the gloves, make sure they're serviceable. Check them for holes, torn seams. If they've got any kind of that, they've lost their integrity, and they're not going to offer you the protection that you need. What if your protective clothing gets dirty? What do? Well, to maintain its integrity, it has to be clean. A dirty flight suit, dirty flight gloves can support flame, so you need to keep it clean. In the case of the gloves, it's as simple. Just put the gloves on, grab a bar of soap, and wash your hands. Wring the gloves out and let them dry in a cool place for a couple of days. That's all it takes. As far as the flight suit goes, throw it in the washer and wash it like you would anything that's dirty. Here's a good example. This is Corky's race car. As you can see, he's got a problem here. He's hit the wall, he's got a fireball going, the car is spun and come to a stop, and it's on fire. If you look real close right here, you can see a dark shadow. That's Corky himself coming out of the burning car. Now that he's outside of the car, what do you see? He's perfectly protected. He has on everything he needs. He's got Nomex shoes, socks, Nomex gloves, and a face protector and a helmet. Very well protected, but what do you see here? His hands are on fire. His hands are on fire because his gloves were dirty. He had Nomex gloves, but he had been working on the car. He got dirt and grime in them, and that's what's supporting the fire. He had disabling injuries to his hands, and he never drove again. Just a reminder, if you're going to wear it, keep it clean. What's the requirement for boots? Well, first of all, they have to be all leather. Second, they need to be tall enough so when you're in a sitting position in the aircraft, there's no gap between the top of the boot and the bottom of your Nomex. The idea here is protection. Protection from that post-crash flash fire. Also, remember, no synthetic boots. No nylon leather mix. That nylon or synthetic can melt in that fire situation. Talk about eye protection. That visor on your flight helmet, it's built to protect your eyes and your face. They should be down all the time, anytime you're flying, and at least during the takeoff and the landing phase. Take a look at this visor. You notice that it's got some damage to it. This visor was taken from the helmet of a Fish and Wildlife pilot who was in a mishap a few years back. The engine lost power and he had to do a forced landing. This was the outcome. As the aircraft impacted the ground, pieces and parts of the engine, the cowling, the propeller came through the windshield and into the cockpit, actually glancing off the pilot's helmet. The visor saved his eyesight. They work. Use them. What about when you're working around the helicopter? During takeoff and landing, in a remote situation where you've got dust and dirt coming up from the rotor wash. You need to protect your eyes in that situation too. Either stay back out of the way of the rotor wash. If you have to get in close, wear eye protection. Put the visor down on your helmet. Wear goggles, whatever it takes. These machines can throw a lot of things your way and it could injure your eyes. Again, the name of the game is protection. Noisy, right? Let me talk to you about hearing. Hearing is something that over a period of time, you lose a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, a little bit next week, and it doesn't come back. It's a cumulative thing. Over a number of years working around the noise of helicopters and airplanes and anything else loud or noisy like that, you can lose the hearing in your ears. So, when you're in that environment, wear your helmet. SPH, Sound Protection Helmet. Or wear earplugs or earmuffs. Anything you can do to save your hearing. Your instructor is going to demonstrate to you the proper wearing and fit of the flight helmet. But I'd like to share with you a couple of things that I consider to be very important. One thing you need to remember, when you put the helmet on, fasten the chin strap. Adjust it snug. It's useless without it. The helmet won't stay on your head in the event of a crash. So the helmet's on and it's fastened snug. Okay, another thing to remember, just as a pointer, is that this is called a lip mic. You adjust the microphone down right where it's just about touching your lip. That's about right. If you can reach out and touch it with your lip, it's in the proper position. Also, don't forget the visor down and locked. This is an expensive piece of equipment. It's got delicate avionics in it. It belongs one of two places, either on your head or in the bag. This is a game of chance. Accidents still happen. It could happen to you. Don't take chances. Make the right choice. Wear your PPE.
It was her first helicopter flight. A survey mission into the crater of Mount St. Helens. Things were going well until, during the takeoff, erratic winds caused the helicopter to spin, catch a skid on rocky terrain, and roll over. She was sitting in the right rear seat behind the pilot. As the helicopter rolled, her door came open. The inertia of the roll thrust her head out the open door. Her head was trapped between the helicopter and the ground during the rollover. She was wearing this flight helmet. It sustained over 2,000 pounds of impact force. Yet she suffered only a headache and tender spots on her head for a few days. The flight helmet saved her life. The remote landing site was over 11,000 feet. It was a special use mission. The 4 passengers were from 3 different bureaus. There wasn't enough PPE for everyone. It was only a 15-minute flight. Just this one time, they said. The helicopter manager gave in to the group. They took the flight. At the landing site, the helicopter began to spin. The pilot lost control and the aircraft crashed. With the blade still turning, the transmission broke from its mounts, entered the cabin area, and battered 2 of the rear seat passengers, knocking them both unconscious for a period of time. The Helitack crew member sitting in the forward-facing seat received the brunt of the beating. He was wearing this flight helmet. It saved his life. The other passenger was wearing this ball cap. He remained unconscious for some time with a concussion and a severely lacerated scalp. He continues to have blackouts to this day. These helmets have one thing in common. They save someone's life. Think about it. It's your choice. It may be your life.